Good evening. Welcome back to the Thursday night chat, the Mancunian way. We are back with our end of season review, and we are joined by our amazing panel, as you know, Pat, Ozzy, Rich, and Alan's safely landing aeroplanes at the moment. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we all?
Good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Back to my
Good, thank you, Martin.
Oh, all sounds so enthusiastic there.
Wonderful. Magnificent.
It's early in the morning for us, me and Rich. I don't know where Pat is. Are you still away or are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm still in Manchester, still in Deansgate.
Okay.
Yep. Fly back tomorrow.
So tonight, don't forget, we are going to be doing our end of season review. What happens next? A little bit of transfer news. And then we are doing the Manchester City shirt giveaway, end of season members prize, where the member who is pulled out tonight will win a brand new 24-25 Manchester City shirt of their choice. Won't be that pile of wank that Pat's wearing in front of him, it looks like, from Primark.com.
Yeah. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the colours. Sorry.
Thank you. See, I always said Alan talk sense. I always said he did.
But I love that. I love the new Dickoff shirt. That is just... I mean, I haven't seen it in the flesh, but the new...
I have read.
Is that second or third? Is it second or third?
It'll be the second.
That is just...
It'll be the away.
It's the
Yeah,
one of the best
I've already seen it. There's a couple of guys that were showing it off around Ancoats Square before West Ham, and actually we saw one or two before Wembley. And like I asked them, they said, "Oh, it's a couple of like market knockoff versions of it," but it looks pretty identical to what we've seen in the scoop photos, if you want to call it that. And yeah, I am so impressed with it. The only difference is they've just switched the color lines inside out. That's all it is, and it's just the quickest and easiest yet simplest conversion of a classic kit, and I think they've absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, brilliant. I can't wait because I'm going to get it straight away.
I can't wait. I agree with you, Alan. I'm getting two.
Because I'm with the others. The colour on the home one looks a bit... Yeah.
No.
They're probably going to play... They're going to play something stupid like with blue shorts and, navy socks or something just to really...
Excuse me, I'm just making some fashion notes.
It's I'll be getting Foden, and I'm tossing up whether to get whether to get Dickoff on the back or Gota. I'm not sure yet.
Good evening, Mingy Wong. I'm going to fly through some of those. I'm going to be behind in the comments, and I apologise. And there were some rumours a few days ago that Pep will take some time off to discuss the future, whether he's staying or going. No update yet. Also, City are targeting a new second choice goalie if Edson is part of the club. They will target a goalie. I have got an update on that. One of two will probably leave. I might not think it's Edison either. I'm sure we'll have to lower our expectations next year. Some might disagree. I'm not opening that kind of worms anymore. I think we're only taking 6 first-team players. I heard 3 to 4.
Typical pre-season friendly bullshit. Yeah.
Pep wants to give the first team an extended holiday.
And you know what's worse, Martin? I've heard that Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are going to be off this summer as well.
Yeah, they are.
Apparently Chip and Dale are going to be the star players at Disney World this summer.
Savio will be one of them anyway, let's put it that way.
He's not responding, Rich.
Darrell, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. You are a superstar. Thank you, mate. Nearly 200 of you already in the building. Thank you so much. You are our legends. Give it a big thumbs up. We are 61 away from 4,000. 61. That's all it is. Hello, DC. How are you? It was a delight to hear you on BBC Radio Manchester. You too, Patrick. You got to get the Patrick bit in, haven't you?
It was the best.
Hello, Jack Lee. How are you, mate? Adam Quinn, good evening. Throwing up the trophies. I'm loving it. Those emojis are going to change. I'm going to update those in the middle of the pre-season. Come on, get those likes up. Hello, everyone. Luke, how are you, mate? Not in my lifetime. If you have not seen Not in My Lifetime yet, get over there. Give Luke and the gang a lot of love. and hit that subscribe button. Do amazing podcasts. Hoping to get on there one day, get Luke on here. And also City Luke TV. Also brand new City channel. Get over there. Give them a lot of love as well. All the City channels, new, old, big, small, whatever, all in the descriptions. So all your Manchester City lobbies down there. Hello, Stephanie. How are you? Ain't at my lifetime. Good evening. Everyone's just saying hello to each other, which is lovely. That's what we like to see. Yes, all tut Rich. Tut Rich. Rich was late.
I usually am, to be fair.
True.
That's actually not. That's not an excuse, is it? That makes it worse.
No. Yeah. I hope we don't get that washed up Brighton manager. He's shit. Plus, I don't like him as a manager. He's toxic and negative. So you're not a De Zerbi fan, then, Seller? No worries. Peter Grester. ITK news. There will be a listen, I keep saying I'm not the ITK. There will be a little bit of news, but there's not loads at the moment. I'm just trying to say, because they all said hello to each other. Lee Williams, how are you? Hope you are well, mate. Thank you so much. Cade's in the building. Apparently going to City speak to Bruno G again. I got an update, but it's from the Newcastle side, not the City side. So it was the Newcastle side. So I don't know how reliable that is. So Rich, where have you been?
Sleep.
Martin never going to watch that after meeting Joe Royal. Of course I will. Hey, Kate, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Jack Grealish is in the building. RC's with us as well. Brandon here, full of gyros. They were in Greece. I had a few. They were very nice, very tasty. We all like a gyro, or a gyro, as I got told them called.
You get better with the pronunciation, it's fine.
No, that's what they call it. I said gyro, and I got no. Hero.
Yeah, heroes.
Chicken hero.
It's not Japanese.
Never said it was Japanese.
That sounds like a Japanese emperor. Hiro. Emperor Hirohito.
No, whatever he said, no, usually it was response was either Malacca or Vlaka.
SOS, good evening, mate. How are you? Harry, how are you, mate? Great show earlier on with you, Luke and Tone. Really enjoyed it, mate. Yes, Alan the legend is back. You'll have to excuse Alan, he's flying planes. Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well, says PK. Justin is in the building. The home kit is nice in person. I can't get with it. Sorry. Martin, have you heard about Everton? Yes, I've got information on that as well. Everton will not be buying Calvin Phillips because they haven't got a pot to piss in, never mind pay his wages. When the away kit comes out, because today would have been a perfect day to release it, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think it's to do with the contract.
Why would today be the perfect time?
Because...
No, nobody tell him. Because there's no point. There was no point. Calls himself a City fan and he asks a question like that.
I've been all right, okay.
Jesus.
Happy 25th anniversary to Manchester City fans on May the 30th, 1999, where we got out of Division 2, Alan.
Okay.
Alan was still on the
calendar. I'm still fast asleep.
United back then.
He was still on the Julian calendar in those days. It was
hello, Blue Heart. How are you, mate?
Alan was still a Berry fan.
How are you, Shedders? Yes, Dash, I promise I've got info on a little update on Bruno, not a big one, but a little one. With Pep maybe leaving, will the board go for more long-term sermons? Not necessarily, Chelsea. Is Alan in his negative cave or a positive bear dragged him into the light?
I am positive. I don't believe all this bullshit rumours that are going on because no one knows what's at all happening at the moment.
He's positive about
rumours,
Alan. Absolutely positive.
Yeah. All
Positively
what
positive.
A load of shit.
Turns into a double negative.
Right, anyway, quick one before we get going. Yes, I understand Saturday was a bit negative. We weren't going to do a post-match. I came on because I'd already set it before I departed. I thought I'd come on and do a quick 20 minutes. I know it turned into a bit of a rant. There was a lot of I had a lot of personal issues sent to me, and other people have had some disgusting things sent to them as well. It was generally when we get beat, we're not going to go, not because we're negative, Bob, because we got beat. It depends on what we look at the mood before we decide on a post match. But because the post match was already set, we had to go ahead with it. Wasn't going to be a proper one. But so, yes, in hindsight, really, we shouldn't have done something, but I had to set it up because I was going on holiday and I didn't have my laptop with me. And in case we won, I thought people might want to come on. So I thought I'd throw something up, but it became World War III on Saturday night. And I get it's emotional. I get it was upsetting. I get City fans were upset because it was them. And yes, we were shit. Yes, Pep chose the wrong team. Yes, we were one of the worst first half performances of the season. But there's not a lot we can do right now. There's no point in coming on and tearing plays all apart and everything apart because things are going to change again in the summer. It was probably a game too long. I think there was a touch of arrogance between Pep, the club, and the fans. I think we all went in thinking we were going to demolish them 5-0. And because we didn't do that, it got everyone a bit upset. And the reason why I was talking about leaving, it was a question I asked because what I've never wanted to do is host this show if it doesn't follow people's beliefs, shall we say. What I don't want to do is do shows where we're always debating and arguing because they're not fun shows then. The occasional one, yeah, they're fine. But if we're coming on and just disagreeing with each other 24/7, there's no point. It becomes pointless. So that's why I asked the question is what, I've always said this is not our channel. Yes, me, Ozzy, and Rich, own it, but it's your channel. And we want to make sure we are portraying the right content for you people. What we never want to do is go against and put things out that you're not going to enjoy. And if I'm sitting here going, oh, we got beat 5-0, it's all right. Listen, I get upset. Yes, I'm more happy-clappy than others. I understand that. It's just my age. When we got beat by Wickham, I can't say getting beat by United in a cup final becomes the worst thing ever. But others, it's the beauty of opinions. We all have opinions, and that's what it's about. I will let you go, Alan, I promise you. I think we should be able to disagree in a mature manner. Just Saturday night was probably too nerve. It was too to the core, too to the nerve. And people didn't want to be rational Saturday night. They wanted to vent and bitch and moan. And Alan said they've been on the piss for 7 days. And we all just come out with stuff because it's angry and we're upset, and I get it.
It's because, if you get, mate, we grew up, Martin, yourself, me and Rich, we grew up that, we weren't very good for a long time.
Don't associate Martin and me with you. You grew up.
Oh, well, listen, we grew up on the only thing we
I grew up in the
80s. Hang on. The only thing we wanted was...
You're a Glory fan from 1967.
You're proving your point, man.
Yeah, all we wanted every year was to beat United twice a season. Or 3 times a season in this game, and that's all that matters to us. So losing to that shower shite, eh?
Angie wanted a man to land on the moon.
Yeah, all I wanted was
for that.
to beat that shower of shite. I just to lose to them was that unforgivable. I'm sorry, just disgraceful.
I know, Alan, but you got to remember they might have thought the same last year when we scored in 13 seconds.
I know.
Swings and roundabouts, mate.
No, sorry, mate. Our performance first half.
Alan, my point is not sure. My point I'm saying is when we were shit, we were beating the mighty Man United, and they were probably thinking, "Crap, we've been beaten by Sean Goater." So it works out the same way. Anyway,
we were terrible.
Yes, if anyone doesn't want to know, I have been down. It is the 25th anniversary of 1999. Before we get going, here is me with Sir Joe Royal.
Sir Joe. Oh, look at Martin. You could have dressed nicely, Martin.
He's doing exactly what the rest of us want to do to Martin sometimes.
I didn't realise there was a dress code. Anyway, Does anyone want to add something on the 25th anniversary before we get started? Because it is 25 years.
I can't believe it's 25 years. That's bloody outrageous.
Yeah, it does make me feel.
Seems like about 5 years.
25 years for you was when you were watching Billy Meredith run down the wing, wasn't it, mate?
Him, yeah.
Yeah, but how do you say it in Welsh again?
Billy Meredith.
Meredith.
All right,
no,
Chris.
I said what I needed to say on the radio show. Like, you know, it happened before my time, but you know, you got to everything. It doesn't matter how old you are now. Everything that happens today all falls back. That is Genesis now to modern day City. Everything goes back to what happened in that 99 match.
I think the only thing to really say that never gets said is Super Kevin Horlock.
Oh, brilliant.
Danny Tiato started that game too, didn't he? I'm sure Tiato played that game.
Sorry, I'm just going to get rid of the fake fans. Right, let's continue. Danny Tiato was not in the team then. Alan doesn't even remember the game.
Tony Vaughan, Lee Crooks.
No, Tony Vaughan was actually on.
He came on, didn't he? Yeah, he came on.
And then announced he was a United fan when he left.
I think, from my point of view, just because, again, it was a little bit before my time, but I think we show how much it means to us because if you can see in our background, it's on our badge, those colours.
Yeah.
So
that's only because Ozzy started supporting City at 30. It was before his time.
Very good, Rich. Sorry.
There's a lot of shame going on tonight. Shame on you.
Oh, no. I go away for a couple of weeks and this is how he treats me.
No, it's cool. Right. No, it was. Listen, we talked about it earlier. Without that day, what we're watching right now. Or somebody just let a horse.
It sounded like Patrick was getting asleep. But...
Someone just let a horse in the back door. What is going on? What was that? What's going on here?
Who is it?
Have you got room service again, Pat?
No. There's no housekeeping, you halfwit. Look. See?
She's under the desk.
I apologise for Pat inviting the room service.
You okay?
You
okay under there? Yeah.
You cheating bastard! How dare you?
Old habits are hard to break, you know.
Yeah, get over to City Luke TV as well and show them a lot of love. Hoping to be on there very soon. Listen, I don't know what's going on. Somebody's got an animal coming through.
What the hell is that? Now I'm getting paranoid. Oh, so welcome to the season review, everyone.
Yeah.
Animals included. It wasn't bring your pet to work day. What's going on here?
Everyone can put themselves on mute for 30 seconds.
Alan, have you brought a girl home?
No.
That's not a girl, that's Bigfoot.
Yeah, girlie snores like.
I apologize.
The problem is we're all going to be doing it now.
Oh God, I'm going on mute for 30 seconds because I'm in a state of paranoia in a second.
We're all going to be doing it.
Animals. Anyway, no, if it was Alan, it'd be bloody cruelty to Alan. Anyway, right, let's move on. Right, end of season review. If anyone wants to know, the standings were Manchester City did finish top of their tray, 38 points, 28 games won, drawn 7, lost 3, 96 goals scored against 34, goal difference of plus 62, 91 points. Arsenal 38, 28 won, drawn 5, lost 5, 91 scored, 28 against, 89 points. Again, same goal difference as us. Liverpool were one of the early pace setters, but drifted away. Klopp's kids couldn't keep up the momentum. Liverpool finishing third, and Aston Villa, the dark horses, snuck into that 4th place despite finishing the season quite poorly. Speaking of quite poorly, let's move on to Tottenham, shall we? 5th in the standings after an early season blitz that they always do. Tottenham fans will learn at one point that you don't win the league in October. It must be something in the water in North London. They get very giddy very early, don't they, in North London? They get giddy. If it's not Arsenal getting giddy, it's Tottenham getting giddy.
Oh, I'm surprised you're not saying it's these. I'm surprised you're not saying it's these Aussie managers don't get the hint.
No, but I mean, in all honesty, though,
God's sake,
if the season was 2 months,
but Tottenham, as they say, they're a proper football club.
Oh, that was Wembley, mate.
Most supporters in London. They're a massive club, and we've heard all this before from Tottenham.
I think. Have you seen this? Have you seen the Twitter account where? Well, at least you know it's not me now because I was talking, and you know it wasn't Ozzy because he was on mute earlier. So now is it down to Alan or Pat? Right?
It's Alan.
I've forgotten what I'm even going on about. I'm so disturbed by the noise of this.
It's very off-putting.
I wouldn't even mind if he's not Rich Dogs. We've now got Rich's Donkeys. I don't know what's going on anymore. Have you got a farmhouse out back?
No.
Do you keep sharks in your swimming pool?
All I could say is I hope I'm like this when I'm on the plane in about 12 hours' time.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
You carry on with you?
I always carry on.
We'll talk about that in a bit. Yes, there is interest in Rodrigo, and he's been on the list for a while.
Oh, nice.
I'm down, Alan. Right, let's get on to it. The relegation zones, 6th place, I forgot about that, was taken, believe it or not, by Chelsea, who started off really crap, finished the season quite well, and then sacked the manager.
Stupid, isn't it?
To bring in Enzo Maresca from Leicester.
Madness.
It's a little bit of madness. Big apologies to Newcastle. Losing out on the Europa League spot because but one thing I would say to Newcastle is don't rely on other teams to do the job. Do the job yourself.
That was one of the most United things you've ever said, Martin. Enzo Maresca from Leicester.
United finished 8th, 31 points behind Manchester City. That gap gets bigger every year. The bottom 3 were Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United. Vincent Kompany is the only guy I know who gets the team relegated and then pisses off to Bayern Munich. Don't know how the hell that's even happened in this world, but it's happened.
Incredible.
It's amazing what
Football's gone mad. Football's gone mad.
Hey, listen, I wish you all the best.
Me too, but
I agree, Jack. Yes, they are 1 up on FA Cups, but we're 1 up on a 4P. Always remember that. He technically was sacked because they've got to pay him out. They have actually got to pay him out, Mingy Wong. It came out that
he had a year left, didn't he?
Yeah, he was actually sacked in a way because they've got to pay. Is it 20 million quid or something? Really, they've got to pay a huge amount of money out again, which is just anyway. Right. So Ozzy, will start with you. What do you make? I mean, obviously, we'll start with Manchester City and then or wherever you want, mate.
Very kind of you. I suppose we could start with, before the season kicked off with the signings. I think some of us were hoping to get, obviously, the likes of Bellingham through the door, and that didn't happen. And then Rice didn't happen. And then we got Nunez, which is obviously Alan's favourite player of all time.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's speak, Alan. I promise you can have your Nunez rant soon. I promise you.
Yeah, you can, Alan. And then, we made some smart signings of Kovacic. I thought it was a really good signing. Doku, exciting winger. Was raw. I didn't expect as much from him this season. I actually thought he did really well. From for a player coming into this team. Yeah, I mean, so and then I think it was for the first half of the season. I just think you really look at it, and I think you said it, Martin. It was like basketball, football for most of the beginning of the season. And I think, I mean, to be fair to us, that is in the first half of the season, it's where we lost our only 3 games. So as much as I think it was a bit of a pep, doing a bit of a pep where he was kind of tinkering with the team, playing this football, which I remember you saying at the time, Pep was trying to prove something to the fans. I don't know whether it was that really, but it just seemed like it was not flowing really well. We were kind of all over the place. And I just think we were poor defensively. And I think we threw some games, and I think it was just really sloppy for the first half of the season. And I think, when you look at some of the big moments, I think like there was the Kovacic and Alvarez debate where I think a lot of fans were kind of getting a bit upset about, because I think Alvarez started off well, but then as we got to kind of Christmas, he just kind of went off the boil a little bit. I think there was the kind of whole game against Chelsea, where I think it really just felt like things weren't flowing very well. I think, Kovacic should have started that game, and he didn't. Those are my kind of slight highlights from the beginning of the season. I think obviously KDB being injured as well the first half of the season.
Or the only game.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a, oh God, what are we going to do? And that's where Phil Foden stepped up and just showed the character of going, I'm going to grab, this team by the scruff of my neck, and I'm going to go out there and prove the player that I know I am. And he did. I think that's, why he was player of the season. Not only for City, but for the Premier League. I mean, those are my kind of slight highlights for the season. We can obviously get into more once everyone's had their say.
Rich?
Highlights of the season. Oscar Bob's goal at Newcastle.
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah.
Goal of the season for me.
Yeah.
Goal of the season.
That Ortega's save and, Phil's 3 almost identical long-range spectaculars into the top corner, I think. And I think of this season, they're the main things I'll remember. The FA Cup I kind of forgot as it happened because we had a very glitchy picture. I don't know if it's just where we were, Alan, but the picture was glitchy the whole way through the game. So
it was almost like it wasn't great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's why you thought they were pissed, Alan. You had a glitch.
They were pissed on Monday and Tuesday, on Sunday and Monday, and maybe Tuesday as well.
And so that's all forgotten about, to be honest, because I was a bit drunk and it had a glitchy TV. So honestly, you couldn't really watch the game that much, and you'd get a shot, and then either you'd see it in the goalkeeper's hands, or it would be in the goal or something, or in the stand before the ball moved. So it was all a bit weird. But no, it was. I think it was of all the seasons we've won titles, it was probably one that was really kind of ground out, but with this mad sort of month or so of just playing absolutely amazingly at the end. But a season remembered more, I think, because of brilliant performances against lesser teams than us really taking it to the other top 6. Like other seasons, I remember because of results against, against Liverpool or against Chelsea, beating Arsenal the season before. I think this season was the season of, some really top performances against lower teams, which is a bit Alex Ferguson, to be honest, because that's how United always won the league, was just demolishing the bottom half of the table and often not doing as well as Arsenal or even Chelsea against the big teams. So I think that's focus for next season is, just lifting our game a bit and against those top teams. But great season, and all we ever wanted at the start was the 4-peat, and we got it. So it's hard for anyone to say anything other than a good season because we did what was the ultimate objective for the team.
I'm going to drag this. Alan?
It was shit.
No,
Thanks,
it wasn't. But I thought that at the end of the day we won the league, so we can't really complain. But I thought the season was quite patchy. Yeah, but I thought the performances were quite patchy. I think that's probably fair. The results, we got results, but performances were very, very patchy. I thought you spot on, Ozzy, with the start of the season. We didn't flow. The start of the season, we lost Kevin De Bruyne, which I was angry about because he shouldn't have started. He should have had the operation at the end of last season after the Champions League. And I feared that in the first game, and sure enough, after 20 minutes, bang, he went down. So I thought the performances were at times bang average, but we won. We seemed to win the games even though we weren't playing that well, and we didn't really flow. Foden had a great season, clearly. With Akanji, I thought were the two best standout players. Oscar Bob's goal at Newcastle was unbelievable as far as I was concerned, with the ball from KDB. And I did jump up big time when he scored that goal. And not necessarily because it was the last minute, just the amazing footwork of him with the control and going around the keeper. We weren't that good against the top 6 sides this year compared to previous years, but we still win the league. So overall, we can't complain. We won the league, and you've got to be happy with that. I was just a bit pissed off that they weren't professional at the end. They decided to go on the piss and throw the game away against United, which was very disappointing. That was it.
Just to clarify, they weren't on the piss.
They were.
They weren't. They did exactly what they did last season, and they won a treble.
Yeah, they were.
I can confirm that Martin's right. I was at a yoga retreat in the Peak District with the City squad Sunday, Monday, and they were just sleeping.
No, they went out drinking Monday, yes, and Sunday, but they were not. They were not out. I know people think this. They were not on the pitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They were back in training on Wednesday.
Apart
from Jack, because he was still pissed. Yeah.
It was interesting listening to
You are a winner. Loads of people have put W's in the chat for Mark. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships, mate. You are a legend so much. Pat, come to you, mate.
Oh, well, where can we start? I mean, I'm not going to say that, we followed this. What the fuck is that sound?
It's Pat. It's definitely on the bottom row. It's you or Alan.
Anyway, look, I'm not going to say it's a season that, kind of went to script again. City waiting until the final third of the season to hunt their opposition down and then basically give them no breathing space. But I'm going to go back to something that I'd said, before Christmas, being over here after we just drawn with Liverpool. And, well, there was a lot of people that were disappointed about it, given that we just come off that stretch of 4 consecutive draws. And then you had the little losing streak when Rodri was out with suspension as well. And there was a little bit of cause for concern. But, at the end of the day, nobody finishes better than we do. And, with the late finishes, Manchester City are the late finishers. They prove that leagues have to be won in April and May, basically. And, I look on it now, and even the periods of the season where we were a little bit sluggish and Pep seemed to be a little bit out of favour with the fans, as you said, Martin, all through the season, he was trying to go gung-ho, giving the fans what they want, and then realising that's not actually the end product. But at the end of the day, you look at it and you say, even for those poor performances, we still walked away with points from pretty much every game. So it wasn't too bad. And I've always said, points are progress. And, we certainly were in a much better position to strike against Arsenal and Liverpool than what we were with Arsenal, just a little over 12 months ago, on our treble run. So I always had this confidence. I always felt that unless we had a massive bunch of huge injuries hit the squad, that might have been the only way it would have slowed us down. But I'll tell you what, we ended up with one big, massive injury. And, of course, that was the absence of Kevin De Bruyne. And, Phil Foden stepped up. And, my God, if that kid's not in the running for a Ballon d'Or in the next couple of years, I don't know where we go with our star players in the squad anymore. So he deserves all the accolades he gets. He is, he is our Player of the Year. He will be the PFA Player of the Year. He'll win all the domestic accolades for individual player this season. I have absolutely no doubts about it. I'm really happy with the outcome of the season. Of course, the 4-peat, never been done before. History is now blue. It's on our side. Amazing to think that this would have been. It probably wouldn't have even been allowed to dream this 25 years ago to this day. So, look, overall, the season was a fantastic. Was fantastic overall. Obviously, the performance on Saturday tarnished it a fraction, but at the end of the day, you can't take away what the squad's been doing for the last 4 years. And I look on it now and you think like, okay, history's just been made. Let's go and do something that's even going to terrify the next few generations of football fans, and they'll look back and say, hang on a sec, these guys just bucked the trend of, three. Nobody's done 3. But guess what? They went and did 5. And I've got so much confidence in the team that they can go ahead and do that now. And, I'm really interested to see what happens over these summer months. But overall, I was happy with I was satisfied with the season because we always put ourselves in the right position at the right time to strike in the league.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, that everyone's saying inconsistent performances and stuff. That's no different to any of the last 3 seasons. I mean,
which is why I said, Richard, it almost felt like it goes script. It's almost scripted.
Everyone forgets in the treble season just how bad we were in October, November. After that 0-0 at Copenhagen, for 2 months we were terrible.
January, February.
Yeah, but it was particularly that Copenhagen period, through the Brentford, Fulham at home, all those games in the treble.
I think the worst performance was against Villa. I mean, I think that performance was just.
Do you think that gets put under the carpet because we had so many injuries that night? Do you think that gets brushed away as a?
I think it's a combination of that and also the fact that I think, honestly, any team in Europe could have played Aston Villa over those 4 days. Yeah. They played Arsenal straight after, and Aston Villa would have, based on form, Aston Villa were the best team in Europe at that time.
No, I agree.
Anybody those 2 matches.
I think that was as much them. I mean, obviously, if we'd have had Rodri, De Bruyne, and things, it would have been different. But I think Aston Villa played fantastically. I think their energy, every match they did work well. I thought I don't think a team has played that dominant against us. You're probably going back to the season Liverpool won the league, where when we'd given up. But I don't think a team has dominated us like that in the 4 title-winning seasons since then. I think that Aston Villa were brilliant that day, and
I also think
I'm not going to
Palace as well. I think that game also.
Go on, Ozzy, and we'll come to.
I was going to say, I just think the Crystal Palace as well game that we had. I think again another really bad performance from us. Again, I don't think it was as bad as the Villa, but I still think it was up there.
I think it was a bad collapse. We were very good against Palace for a chunk of that game. We just switched off at 70 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. I think the draws against Liverpool and Spurs didn't do us any favours either. I don't feel that we really turned the corner of the season until we went away for the Club World Cup. Because it felt for me that when we went away, our season kind of changed. It kind of, I think that time away, one with the training and all that. I think it was a time to reset.
You do feel like it came at the right time, Ozzy, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think it was for what good
training.
Yeah. Just another one I was going to say as well too. There was only one club that didn't have another club do the double on them this season in the league, and that was us. No club did the double on us.
I'll tell you what I thought. Because of the inconsistency, I felt that the first half of the season, maybe into January as well, we played well for about 70 minutes of every game and then constantly just switched off in a lot of the games where teams then attacked us. Palace game was one example of that, where we just completely switch off, and it costs us goals. I don't think our defence at times concentrate enough the way we defend. But Martin, I said to you and all the lads here that there was times in the season, can we play well for 90 minutes? And that was my major concern. And then towards the end of the season, we kept the ball rather than just give it away in the last 10 minutes.
Do you know where I disagree on that is? We don't. Yes, I understand everyone's point on the defence. Totally get that. Here's my point, though. Is I think last season we all found a formula with this inverted centre back into midfield.
Yeah,
me and Rich had a massive debate on this last season, if you remember. Because Rich has hold my hand up, proved me wrong. I know that's not hard to do, but prove me wrong in the respect of I argue with Rich that the inverted fullback or the inverted centre back was here forever, and we were going to play this 3-box-3, and off we go, and we are going to nice. And Rich went, no, Pep will change his systems. The very first game of the season, we changed the system. Then 5-6, because then what we did was, anyone remembers, we actually had our best start ever under Pep Guardiola. We won every single game. We didn't lose a game until late September. We were on fire the first few games. If anyone remembers. Yeah, we were scoring 3s, 4s, flying away. And everyone was like, oh, right. Because remember at the time, Walker came out with a comment, oh, it's about time we went and won this league by 20 points early on rather than playing catch-up.
What I wanted to do.
And yeah, exactly what you did.
I was dying for it. Yeah, I wanted to see us win the league at home with games to spare. Yeah,
we've actually changed our system, our formation, 3 times this season. We started off with one system. You remember at Burnley, we all talked about how De Bruyne could come a little bit deeper. The ball would be played out from Edison to one of the centre backs, and the centre backs goes bang over the top. And that's how we started. Then we changed again. If you remember at that point as well, we had a shitload of injuries, and we were our whole bench was EDS. So if you remember at some point, we couldn't even fill a bench in the first 10 games. We were majorly struggling even to get a bench out at that point. Because if you remember, Nunes hadn't come, Doku hadn't come, we still hadn't finished our business and the season had got going. Because one thing we all said was we spent too long on the Bellingham stuff, which I don't think it's fully City's fault. I think Bellingham plays City for a fiddle. We then moved to Rice, and it was going down the line, and we kicked off the season and hadn't even replaced people. Then at Christmas time, and then Pep started making his little digs when everyone was like going everywhere else. Let's play this attacking brand of football, basketball. So you remember we had them 4 games where we dicked around and went total end-to-end football, like watching Kevin Keegan days. Then it changed again. And then we changed again. And then with 5 games to bleed and go, we changed again to 3-5-2. I've never seen as many formation changes than what we've done this season. Now, whether that's been down to personnel, whether it's been down to injuries, whether it's been down to whatever reason, there's been a massive change left, right, and centre this season. But the one thing I've always said is we one is we've gone unbeaten all season at home. We've not lost a game at home this season. Not lost a game. We've actually scored nearly as many goals as last season. We've conceded one or two less goals, more goals, only one or two more goals, one more goal than last season. And I think this is what I've always said. I think as fans, we've come into this mindset of, I've always said this. This is just my opinion. I think last season we made out as though last season we were playing Barcelona-esque football for 9 months. And we weren't. We were utter crap probably up until about January, February last year. Because we all said, if you remember, it was the charges that picked us. It was the 115 that day after Tottenham.
Spurs away,
we all went, right, we need to adjust now and get rolling. Because Pep even talked about it in his press conference going, you brought us all together. Thanks for that. I don't think right now, except for the 100-point season, we've ever been a 9-month team. I think we've been a team that's
I don't think you can be.
I
don't think when you're playing 70 games a season, Martin, that unless you have a squad of 30 players, unless you have 30 world-class players, you can't be a 9-month team because it is impossible to get to that level. You see it with Liverpool, and I think, we talked about this probably February or March when, it was just, you just knew Liverpool just couldn't keep going because they just, and we've seen it season after season. That is why City win the league and why Arsenal, and to be fair, Arsenal did keep going to the line this year, so I'm probably a bit unfair on that because other teams cannot maintain, they'll hit form early and they cannot maintain it, whereas City hit form late enough in the season that we can maintain it to the end or one game before the end, this season. Even in the treble season, we were not as good the last 4 or 5 games. Once we won the league, we peaked in, a month before the end of the season. And we fell over the line a little bit against United.
We were crap. Let's be straight. We were not good in that Champions League final last year. We limped over that line by the time we did.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game to watch. Let's be honest.
I mean, the Dash you put in, Matt, and the 2 fullbacks going forward, leaving 2 centre backs left too much space. I think that's been done because I think more than ever this season, every single team has low blocked us, including the mighty Real Madrid. When we won that treble, what happened was every single team around the world went, oh shit, City are the best team in the world. And if anyone remembers this, go back to Old Trafford back in 1990, in the late 90s, early 2000s. The only thing you came away from Old Trafford with was a cold. Because you got spanked every time you walked in there. Teams were celebrating a 1-0 defeat. If we can just keep it down to 1-0, what happened? That's how City have become this season. Teams are coming to the Etihad and going, if we can just get a 1-0 defeat, see ya, we're happy. Nobody came to attack. Nobody came to have a go. Arsenal, when they were in the pomp this season, didn't want to do it. The mighty Real Madrid, even Ancelotti said, if I attack against this lot, I'm going to get destroyed. So I think it's just sometimes we've been, what's the word? We've been our own worst enemies. The way we play.
Victims of our own success.
Victims of our own success.
Yeah. I mean, when I was saying, I think we reset during the Club World Cup. At that point, when we were back into the Premier League season, we were only 5 points behind.
And we should have been 10. We should have been 10.
Yeah, with a game in hand, and we had Kevin De Bruyne. He was, virtually coming back at that point. For me, that's where it turned around for me. I really do think that is where the second half of the season began.
Thank you very much, Matt Price. Transition season, and we got the 4P. I don't even think we've hit our transition season, Luke.
I think this year we will. I think it's going to be this summer, this transition time this year.
No, I don't think it will, Alan. I think it happens when Pep goes.
Yeah, I think it's when Pep goes, and it's a slightly different transition. I think
KDB will go. Yeah. You've probably at best got KDB for 1, maybe 2 more years max. Then I think he goes.
I think it's how he's managed with Kevin De Bruyne. If he's
Yeah.
manages his games, he could probably go on a little bit longer. But
as I was told last night, maybe you'll see a slightly new role for Jack Grealish next year.
Midfield.
Yeah,
I hope so, because I think he'd do well in there.
Well, Jack's got big season for Jack next year. He's got to improve. He's had a lot of off-field issues, which have not been nice.
No.
I wouldn't wish an armed robbery on my family, on anyone's family. I think it's awful, but he's got to he can't let that stuff. I know it's hard to say he can't let that stuff get in his head.
Do you think he'll make the 20? Do you think they'll make the 26 for England?
Yeah.
I don't think he will. Really?
Yeah.
Do you?
Southgate would be stupid if he doesn't take some experience.
Well, he's stupid. He is stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He should.
Are you a fan of Southgate, Alan?
I fucking hate him.
Still prefer Henderson.
I find the whole thing. Yeah. I've not yet met an England fan who actually likes Southgate. That's the funny thing.
He's clueless. He's
absolutely
clueless.
No one likes him.
I am going to save some of your questions till we get to the next. So I promise you we'll come to the Rodrigo and everything else. I do promise you we will.
Sorry, Martin. I just wanted to quickly just add on to what that topic you just talked about with the low block. Do you think then that there's more emphasis on Jeremy Doku and maybe Savio, if he is to come in, to allow more speedier players to get around the low block next season? Because if teams are just going to continue doing it, then we need to sort of counter that and actually look at players that can get around, get to the byline and play a little bit deeper, a bit wider. So I think a lot of emphasis might be on Doku. And if we've already seen samples of it, where we've seen him drift into the middle, especially in these last 7 to 10 games, whether he's coming off the bench or starting, I think this is what we've seen now is we're maybe getting a little bit of a hint as to what Pep might do if he's having a little bit of issues against a low block, particularly if certain teams do it at the start of the season when they know we're a little bit more vulnerable while we're trying to tweak the system and get things right.
Yes.
For our post-Christmas run.
The only thing I would say is me personally, I'm putting no expectations on Savio.
But what about Doku? Because Doku could be key because his minutes are going to get...
Doku.
His minutes... I think Doku's easily going to go over 2,000 minutes, maybe even 2,500 minutes.
You need someone for next year on the other side.
Doku ended the season as good as any.
Yeah, he
was our fun player at the end.
I'm just thinking if teams continue with that low block, I think he's going to be key if we're still going to be able to reach success.
It would be nice to have someone else. It would be nice to have someone else. The
only thing with that, you're not going to sell Walker and Stones because then I know people think I love this English quote, a homegrown rule. Listen, I think it's a shit rule and shouldn't be there, personally. But I know why it is there. You can't Walker and Stones out because you're going to lose two.
I'm going to ask a question now. Walker's a good player. Stones is brilliant centre half, probably the best one we've got. But there's a massive question mark on him for me with his injury record. 2 games in, 4 games out. 2 games in, 4 games out. He's been consistent all year, and the year before exactly the same. Is it time to? I hate to say this. Is it time to offload him?
No. Where to and how much?
Only reason I say that, Alan, is because
his injury record.
I love John Stones.
I love John Stones.
We all like John Stones.
No,
I like him.
I can't have him going anywhere else.
Besides the John Stones loving, Alan, the other thing I could say is, if you remember when Vincent Kompany was the same age as what John Stones is now, he had all those recurring issues with his hamstring, his thigh muscles. His legs always kept playing up on him. He'd spend 2 weeks off getting ready, and then he'd come in, play a game, and then next thing you know, goes back to training and find out something else is wrong with him. I think John Stones is at a bit of a crossroads right now with the same situation health-wise with his playing time. And I think maybe it might have been good to just keep him away from the first team, for now. If he can play and have a good Euros, God hope we don't get another bloody injury out of him, But I think if he just goes to spends a lot of time with the medical team, gets himself right and does a similar situation to Vinny where it's like, okay, he may be ready to play in 3 or 4 weeks' time, but we're going to keep him aside for 6 or 7 weeks until we find out exactly what the problems are or what the roots of the causes are for these recurring issues, so that we don't end up with a player who plays once and then can't play for another 3 games. So I think the key for me is it's similar to what Vinny did, and I think we just need to be careful with him. And to be honest, like defensively, our depth is fantastic, so it's not a big issue.
I'm never going to question his capabilities. So
of course, mate. Yeah. You and me, both. But we just got to be cautious with him. That's all.
But I would be happy for him not to play for England. I'll tell you, just have a rest.
Yeah, but
I kind of agree with you, mate. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
We're the same with Vinny. The amount of times Vinny got injured going to Belgium, and it's the same. And unfortunately for the players, and we've seen it with Walker this week with, the interview that winning the Euros would be more important to him than what he's done with City. And, that unfortunately for the players going and, winning the World Cup is, even for Messi, everything at Barcelona, winning the World Cup for Argentina was still the most important thing in his career. And I think that's the unfortunate thing, is that Vinny, John Stones, as club supporters, it's a no-brainer. They should retire from international football and focus on getting the best out of their club career. But they want to do it with their countries.
Yeah, I know. We've got to be careful on this, because I know everyone wants this Walker out, Stones out, him out. I understand all that. But to do that sort of business in one window, plus bring people in, not many clubs do that.
Well, let's talk about. I'd
rather bring in one defender. For bring in a right back this season. Keep Walker another year.
I know. But my point is, Rich. People talk about Braithwaite, but he can't afford Calvin Phillips' wages. So what if people thinking they're just going to be able to afford John Stones' wages?
Now, and why would John Stones, who, if he's fit, is arguably would get into a world 11, in my opinion, why would he want to go and play for anyone else apart from one of the top 7 or 8 teams in Europe?
The thing is, you sell that. Say you go with the rumours today, John Stones is going to be sold to Bayern Munich. Yeah. Number one is you get 40 million. How much would a John Stones replacement be?
150.
In today's market,
they don't exist. They don't exist.
Double.
They don't exist.
So you're looking about 80, 90, 100 million. City are not going to spend 100 on a defender, 100 on Bruno, 50. They're not going to do this.
We've already done it with Josko.
We're not just going to.
No, but not all. They didn't sign 80 million.
Not all in one go. Exactly. That's the point. Not all in one go. It's not a. I know some fan. I think what it might be, John Stones has to have his minutes managed the same way KDB's going to have his minutes managed, and we're going to have to try and work it out. The Walker thing is also, I keep saying it, people think I'm crazy. We have 6 homegrown players, 7 at a push. If you get rid of Walker and Stones, you're down to 5. You only allowed 17 foreign players.
Yeah, so you have to say I can only do that if you're signing homegrown.
Exactly. Or you make your squad smaller, and we're talking about making our squad bigger. So this
yeah,
is where
and
what we should be doing.
The other thing, and this is where, and my problem with this argument, Martin, is not would not get rid of them. It's that I just think it's better with Walker. Say, for example, we know we need someone to replace Walker. But I would rather get them in 12 months before Walker goes, so they have 12 months to get used to Pep football, or if Pep's going to get used to City to feed in. So Frimpong, I like the look of him in the games. I've not seen a huge amount, but for Leverkusen, he looks like he would, especially with Pep's insistence of playing high right back on the wing, he looks like he'd be good. He can put in a good cross. But I wouldn't want him to come in and have to rely on him to play 60 games. Obviously, Akanji and Stones and Lewis and things can play, but I'd like to get someone in with Walker, have a year, and then Walker goes to Saudi or wherever in 12 months' time. And
you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. If we sold Walker, you're going to get the same issues you had with Gundogan. Remember, we played this game before. Can't this dick? I know people want certain plays out. I understand that. But you've got to look at the logistics from the business side for Manchester City Football Club. Can't just ditch 4 first-team players and bring 4 in. It's not that easy. I wish it was. Yeah. Really. We played that game, Bellingham and Rice, remember?
And structurally for City, getting rid of Walker's a lot bigger deal than people think. In that Walker is, you've seen it in probably 5 games against Real Madrid. Just when Walker is actually played as a defender, and he is left as a defender, he is world class. I mean, people talk about Ake being our best one-on-one defender. I think Walker, when he's playing at his best, is phenomenal. And Mbappe said it. Vinicius has said it. He's the best defender they played against. And we've seen in recent weeks how when someone plays a low block and they've got a fast pace attack, how vulnerable we are. So I think we really need to be looking at signing a defender with real pace. I think the one thing we lack in the way we play is a defender with Keith Curl, Sylvain Distin type pace who just dominates the game with their pace. And Walker does that, but this season Walker's often been on the right wing, so even Usain Bolt wouldn't get back to defend, in some of the positions he's been in, and that's tactical. But we need one defender who is blistering. We need one defender who has absolute pace to play the way we do. And so, I don't know that Branthwaite could be a class player, but I don't know that he's going to be quite that.
Branthwaite, you're talking 80 million quid.
Yeah, but I think we are going to have to spend that sort of money sometime in the next year or two.
Say you're going to have to replace Stones. I agree. Spending money to do it. Why not cash him now when he's still worth something? Because
he's John Stones.
No, say you sold Stones for 30 and brought Branthwaite in for 80, 85, you're at a deficit of 55. Then we want 100 on Bruno. Then you want somebody else. This is what I'm saying. You're not just going to, because everyone's saying our squad is smaller. If we're going to sell Núñez, Walker, and Stone, we've got to replace all them 3. Plus add onto top of what you want to do already.
And you know what?
The money to do that.
I think the other thing people are missing is that unless someone really, really, really wants John Stones, if it is City that sell John Stones, the clubs are going to be offering 15 million because he's on a very large contract. He's on a very large contract. He's very injury prone. So if people think we're trying to sell John Stones, they'll think we're doing it because we think he's finished. And then they'll be coming in with 10 million, 15 million for a player who last in the treble season was the best defender for me in world football. I think he was absolutely phenomenal. He was the difference between City and other teams around the world. And we will not get close, even if we only get half a season out of him.
Rich,
more than what we'll get paid for him.
No one's saying he's lost it. He's a brilliant player. He's our best defender. He's the best player in England, best defender in England without any doubt. But if he's playing 2 games and out for 4, that's concerning.
It's concerning, but we're not going to get paid for him. That's my point. Someone's going to come in and say, "We'll give you 10 million because of his wages and his injury record." They're going to offer 10 million. And
the best example, Alan. Do you remember
it's not worth selling.
Remember your Otamendi issue? Remember how we couldn't sell Otamendi because of the wages he was on?
That's right.
I mean, think of it this way, Alan. Bernardo Silva is one of the best midfielders in Europe right now, yeah?
Yeah, superb.
He's available for only 50 million. Right now, nobody's even willing to pay that.
It's his salary. It's wages.
So it's not just that, Alan. It's 50 million up front. His release clause is 50. So to get that done, they have to give City 50 million right away.
Yeah.
How many clubs have got 50 million to whack straight onto their accounts right now?
No, PSG.
Sorry, but Alan, we're not allowing Barca to pay in increments over 5 years.
We're not doing amortization
like we do with Ferran Torres already. We're not going to allow it anymore.
We've already done the favour on Bernardo. We were 80, so we've dropped to 50, but it's in one lump.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
That's it. And game on. So this is why we've got to. It's not just. I wish it was simple as 3 in, 3 out, and it's so hard to do.
Well, PSG have pulled out, haven't they, of Bernardo's deal?
I think the problem with one of the problems with Bernardo, and it's one of the problems with modern football, is that he's not a massive marketing player. He's not an Mbappe or a Haaland who is on the cover of EA and everything like that. So what happens with that is he's one of the most. I've said it so many times. I think he's one of our most important players. He's the glue that brings the team together. He's tactically brilliant, and he plays 10 positions in a game. But that's not what sells shirts to 8-year-olds and what goes on the front of EA Sports. So I suspect that a lot of clubs, the managers and the real technical experts might be saying this would be the perfect signing for us, but the marketing people and the people who actually pay the money saying, well, it's not going to pay itself back because we're not going to get an extra 20 million revenue by signing him. And unfortunately, that's the way clubs like Barca are not really run as a sensible business anymore. They're run for the politics of Laporta. And so they'd rather spunk money on someone who they can pretend it's something bigger than it is than actually sign a player who could completely transform their team.
I just need to say a couple of things. Sorry, Rich. Go on, mate. Finish off.
Yeah, so I think, if I was a European coach, Bernardo would be one of the first players in world football who I'd want to sign, and at 50 million he's a bargain. But I don't think the money men at those clubs probably feel the same. And there is still, and this is a fact, there's still only about, is it 18 clubs or something who've ever paid 50 million for a player, and like 12 of them are in the Premier League or something. So if he's not going to go to a Premier League club, which he probably isn't, then there's probably only there's only really 5 or 6 clubs in world football who've ever paid that kind of money. Bayern, Madrid, Barca, Paris. Yeah.
People say Kyle Walker on the bench, stripping the captain. So people need to realise, and by the way, I know people come back at me on this, doesn't choose the captain. The players choose the captain. The players have voted for Kyle Walker. I know you might not like it, but the players decide. Does not choose the captain. The club do not choose the captain. I know the club knew all about the podcast. They knew. You can't just go off and do something like that and not have permission to do it. Regards Frimpong, he's on holiday at the moment. Frimpong has gone on holiday, waiting for the Euros. And the other thing is, I said it a couple of weeks back, until Yankutu goes, there'll be no movement. You can't have 3 and 4 right backs ready, because Yankutu has to go somewhere for someone to come in. It's like a domino. A domino has to fall for something else to come. Otherwise, so I said about Bernardo's on 300 grand a week. Jack Grealish is on 300 grand a week. You can't just have 2 more midfielders on 300 grand a week. We are very close, not in a bad way, but under these new PSR rules that have been voted in this month, because we wanted to make the league more competitive, even though we've screwed ourselves in Europe, the economies you've got, City are very close on the wages. We're one of the highest wage bills. Calvin Phillips is coming back. Right now, João Cancelo is coming back. We can't just get rid. João Cancelo fell out about 6 months after he signed a brand new contract on 240 grand a week, something daft like that. No club is paying that and a fee. Calvin Phillips is on 150 grand a week. Everton cannot afford 150 grand a week. We are not a charity. This is what Pep keeps saying. Why do you keep coming to us and asking us to help you pay for your players? We ain't doing it anymore.
That's why we need to play some of the youngsters like Oscar Bob for me.
I know, but this is why just getting in and out is not as simple as.
I know you're saying that, Martin, but we've got kids there, in my belief, like Rico and Oscar Bob, who are good enough, and they need more game time.
Yeah,
and they can fill in a lot of the roles.
Expectations, Alan.
I just think, maybe want to see the talented kids.
No, Alan, I agree, and I'm with all that. If you want to do that, brilliant. But you then can't kick off if you don't win the league.
Fine, we've won the league. How many times have we won the league now?
No, Alan, I agree. I agree. But as you saw on Saturday, we didn't win the FA Cup, and there was a big old meltdown.
Yeah, it wasn't about winning the FA Cup. It was about losing to them rag bastards. That annoyed me. And the way we
know what it comes down to?
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to we're victims of our own success.
Exactly. That's all it is. You can't have the best of both worlds. I'd love it if we got Bob and Rico. Listen, I'd get Echeverri. As I spoke to the guy I speak to earlier, he said I'd get Echeverri, Bob, Lewis, all of them in. And then you got, because like you said, I'm not bothered if we don't win trophies.
What have you heard about it? What have you heard about Echeverri? Because apparently some news articles came out the last couple of days about there was some issues with River Plate or something. Didn't want to release him, or
no, they want to keep him for longer.
No, right, okay.
They want to keep him for a bit longer.
Oh, it's the same Savio.
Which is really weird because they're saying Girona are going to have him in January, but how long do they want to keep him for? Because when he goes to Girona, that's the end of their season because South American football goes on calendar year. So how long do they want to keep him? Do they want to keep him for another 2 seasons?
This is what they're discussing.
That's a weird one for me.
This because everyone has different bloody calendars. Question with PSR potentially coming in next year. Can we afford not to go big and replace 1 or 2 of our older players? Yeah, but it depends where you put your books. Chelsea were very clever at this. They agreed the Mason Mount deal in June of 2023, 2020, whatever it was. No, 2023. It didn't actually go on Chelsea's books till the 1st of July. So what that then does is it goes on to next year's books. This is why, if you look at Newcastle with Bruno Gimenez, they've been a bit clever.
What's happening with that?
Whoever buys Bruno has to put it onto this year's books. Not next year's books.
Hence the release clause has been in June.
At the end of June.
Yeah.
Because if you want to buy him, you better make sure you've got room in this year's books to put him in. 100 million on this year's books, maybe a lot for some clubs. Now, if Newcastle went, tell you what, you can have it until the 10th of July. Then you put it on. Like, Rich, you know all this, being the job you're in. You could put it into the 1st of July for next year's books. It's like a mortgage payment. If you can move it a year on your interest, you're singing and dancing. You've got to pay it away. No.
But it does come down to a victim of our own success because we are not only the best team in the Premier League, but we're the best team in Europe. And you look at what we've done, we've got some of the best players on high wages. And the problem is that we don't really want to have to sell them to other Premier League teams because look what happened last summer when we did that, the likes of Cole Palmer. So when you try and look at selling him into Europe, most of Europe haven't got any money.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
But do you really think that Jesus, Zinchenko, Sterling, of those sales of the older players, Cole Palmer was selling a highly rated youngster. Can we really say that we haven't got the better of those deals?
No,
Richard. Players around our squad to other teams, not many of them anywhere have gone on to really succeed. And you know, even Gundogan hasn't been as good as he was at City. Cancelo hasn't been as good as he was. So I don't think, apart from Cole, and he's a kid, and there's a different thing going on there, I don't think selling our players to Premier League or elsewhere has been a problem. I can't see many occasions recently where it has.
No, but I think, Rich, is that I think those players you could say, apart from the likes of Cole Palmer, were at the end of the road, and we could unload those players. Unlike some of the players we're talking about right now, some of them, we're not going to be able to get rid of because of their wages. The likes of Phillips, the likes of Cancelo,
I hope we can get rid of Nunes.
I don't see Nunes going anywhere, sadly.
He signed a 6-year deal. They're not just going to chuck 50 million down the drain unless they get 50 million back.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a massive clear out that people.
I'm so glad some of you are not in charge of a business. Jesus Christ. I don't see the books by the end of it. Get rid of him.
I'll run his own business.
Sack him. Let's go again.
Hang on. Nunes he gets on the bench just to keep warm with his heated seats. He can't even get on the pitch, mate. Pep doesn't trust him. So why have we bought him? Panic buy.
Is that how you sell him in your garage sale, Alan?
Oh, mate, he's crap.
Is this how you sell peak potential employees to
mate, he's not, mate.
Jesus, Alan. He's a bit shit.
Calvin Phillips, who wanted to get games, and Nunes have not even played since they've signed. Not even played. So why have we spent money on them?
Because Pep Guardiola knows better than you.
Jesus.
No, I said Pep Guardiola. You're close to Jesus, but his name's God.
Jesus gave up on Alan years ago.
I have seen games. I've not seen a lot of Savio. I've seen clips. I've seen certain games. I think Savio looks exciting. My thing with Savio is, be careful. We're doing a docu again. Last season, Doku's speedy. He can cross. Let Pep get hold of him. Let's see. I'm not saying he's going to be shit, and I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm saying, can we just hold off on he's world class and amazing and this and all that? Let's just relax a little bit. We did all this with Doku, and then we went to destroy him again, and then Pep got hold of him and let him train. We don't know yet. That's all I'm saying. Listen, he looks so exciting, but unless we go back to the direct wingers, which I don't know because I don't know what Pep's going to play next year, I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Because he hasn't read the script.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a bloody futuristic guy and can go 6. The guy I speak to, tell me what he's going to do.
Hang on, Martin. Get down to the CFA. Get down there and hang around. You're bound to find out within the next 10 minutes.
I'm not going hanging around the CFA. Jeez, I'll get arrested. You walk outside the CFA for 10 hours a day.
Just before we kind of get any further down the line, like with next season, can we just appreciate this season and this team and what they've done over the last...
Sorry, I've got to stop you. Who the hell keeps snorting? What is going on here? It's you, Alan. You figured it out.
Stop!
I tell you how I know it's you. You're the only one with... Right. No, Richard's like, no, you've all got bloody headphones on now. Right. You've got headphones on. Everyone was silent, and then all of a sudden, you got your microphone close to your mouth, and you went.
It's been there all the time.
You're snorting. Stop
I'm not.
Wow, you're snorting.
It's not me.
Time for some clever accounting. I know we've already got 115 charges. Jesus, let's not go back to more clever accounting.
Should make it 116 with that noise that Alan's making.
No, the Girona left back's gone. I don't think Gutierrez is coming in.
You see, remember Alex Garcia, who played a couple of games with us? He's going to Leverkusen. It's all been agreed.
Yeah.
Which means you wonder if somebody's going to be on their way out of Leverkusen.
I do not go to, Frimpong's on holiday. I do not go on holidays every month. This lies and slander that is going on here.
Hey, you do.
No.
Whether you do or don't, man, you take a lot of pressure off me.
Yeah, we're not allowed to go extra Tilly. We've already sold Southampton. Yeah, but Bray, when have we agreed for the Taylor Howard Bellish money to come in?
How much we're getting for him? 20 million, is it?
I would assume it's when they get their 180 million for promotion, right?
So so here we go. This is what I'm saying. If City get the 20 million next week, then great. We put that into the Bruno fund. We don't get it till 10th of July. Problems. Not problems.
It's the question about the contract, isn't it? Because they could say, open up your bank account, 20 million straight in the second the final whistle goes. But it could be July 1st. We don't know. Yeah.
The bank account won't matter. It's whether it's what the contract says. It's whether the contract says that the legal commitment is made before the 30th of June. And that may already be in the deal. It may already have been written into the deal 12 months ago. Or it may be something that we can negotiate with Southampton and do it on the 30th or the 1st, depending on what we want to show. But, when you're talking about and that's cash terms, but when you actually talk about the amortization will be spread over the year. So ultimately, if it's on the 15th of June, you're only going to get 2 weeks of that on there. So I think people get a bit carried away with, unless you've got special terms, which are kind of making a upfront payment or other things that they've managed to get around the rules, you're getting into semantics in some ways.
Yeah, it's the trouble is, Rich, the media spin it off, right, you've agreed the fee, you're going to get the fee. But what no one looks at is when you get the fee. Like I said, Newcastle have been very clever with this release clause date because they're forcing you to put it into this year's books. It's like you remember when we sold Zinchenko and Jesus? It didn't actually come into the City books till the year after.
I don't think they'll sell him, mate.
But they haven't got a choice if someone does the release clause on.
Yeah, but does he want to leave?
That's up to him. I mean, John Rose says, I think we're in for the shock. He doesn't think we'll sign more than one.
Yeah, because I believe we're going to have to finally accept that he's going to have to increase the squad. I mean, you're talking, if we make the cup final of every competition, it's 75 games.
There's another one.
That's without international football.
What about
it could
Corona?
Be like 90 games for people.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah.
Nunes was buying Alan t-shirts. Buying up Alan t-shirts this afternoon. There you go. Cancelo 205. I think it's a bit more with bonuses.
250.
Phillips 150. Johnny Stone, exactly. Who's going to pay Johnny Stone 250 if he can't play? Who's going to play Calvin Phillips 150?
Are we sort of hoping that Cancelo, with his albatross of a contract, hopefully Saudi can bite, or he wants to go to Saudi?
No, personally, I think Cancelo will be loaned out for the remainder of his contract.
Yeah, I do as well.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Sadly, the thing is, I sometimes have sympathy, and then I'm like, no, City made these signings. How can I have sympathy when they've done this? You know what I mean? It's a bit hard to then go and have sympathy down the line. Richard, on mute if you're speaking. You're talking.
Yeah, I was going to just say the one thing to Alan about likening Nunes and Phillips. I think there is a massive difference. Pep has shown that he will trust starting Nunes in a Premier League game, whereas Pep has shown he would not trust starting Calvin Phillips in a Premier League game. So I think they are, whilst Nunes wasn't a player Pep trusts to start in a massive game when he's playing his best team, he is prepared to play Nunes and thinks Nunes is good enough. I think we saw that he barely trusted Calvin Phillips to play in an under-18s friendly against, Merthyr Tydfil, for a charity game. He really, really, really did not trust Phillips.
Rich, I think his best game was his first, and that was a pre-season against Club America in Houston. And he played at centre-back.
Yeah, he did.
That's how poor he's been.
Yeah, so I don't think that's the same between Nunes and.
Here, Rich?
Well, he's just been found guilty. He might be going to jail.
Jesus, Rich.
Could be riots. Civil war in America.
Civil war. Hey, there's a very, very good possibility that will happen as well. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well.
See you over there, Pat.
Yeah. Last time a bunch of good old boys with, weapons took on the United States Army, they didn't go so well.
FIFA thinks, anyway. No, I just think we've got to be a little bit careful on what we do. Listen, I love a good old transfer window, and I love a good old let's go and buy 5 or 6, and I wish we could. But seriously, we've got to be careful. We've got players out on loan. You got to remember, I've always said this: McAtee, Perone, Cancelo, Phillips were not in our squad. They were not on the match day squad. So getting rid of those is great financially, but they don't make room in the squad because they weren't in the squad to begin with. It's like Doyle. Great, we've sold Doyle. Wasn't in the squad. So who's you replacing? This is the thing. You've got to be a bit thing about it. We've got to try and be cute. I don't know. It's a real. I mean, Mingy wants to put Calvin in Stain, I think. I don't know. Mike, don't give us that. Your travel thing and naming his shop after you. I wish. Powder Oaks is not impressed with whoever's making these silly noises. My apologies. Watching a bit behind, but why don't see just like Cancelo go for 20, 25 million as his wage? Just going to burn down our wage bill. Because they're not. I said this, Harley, but the other side of the coin is, why should we allow players to go for cheap?
I think the thing with Cancelo is that there's no way back for him as a player for City. That bridge is burned. So a lot of people could say, well, you're not going to get probably what his transfer value is, because most clubs know that you're not going to take him back, so you're going to have to take a loss to sell him because you don't want him. And it's a bit the same with Calvin Phillips. He's in a position where he's not worth his current transfer market value because he hasn't played for City, and he's been warming West Ham's bench since he got there. So
yeah,
we're stuck with these players until the contracts run out, or someone's willing to buy them for whatever City are willing to take. So
this is why I think
the problem is there's clubs that would take Nunes and Calvin Phillips and Cancelo, but no one's willing to pay them the salaries, the wages. Plus, all 3 of them won't leave because of the money they're on. That's the big thing.
No, Alan, they want us to pay them. They want us to, because like the Calvin Phillips issue was, we want a loan fee. Because the loan fee goes into your amortized, that goes into your books. So say you get a £5 million loan fee, that loan fee goes in. No one's going to pay $5 million of a loan fee and 150 grand a week for Calvin Phillips.
I know. There's no way they're going to. Calvin Phillips is never going to earn that kind of money again, wherever he goes. So he's going to stay and just milk it.
I mean,
David, a lot of players do.
Again, should he go on loan? But again, his fee and his wages. Like you put David
Nunes.
Wolves will receive 10% of any future sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we get 50% of Tommy Dawes, hold on.
Right, guys, I've got to shoot because I've got to go to a meeting. So thank you very, very much for your company tonight, this morning. And I'll speak to you a bit later. And
no worries, mate. Take care,
all right. No worries.
Yeah,
Take care, boys. Bye-bye.
Take care, Alan.
Thank you. Do you know how many? Have we got more players out on loan than Chelsea?
Certainly looks like it when you start naming them off. That's how Chelsea got round FFP for a while.
Richard just took himself off camera. Martin doesn't do air miles, it's more like light years. Bloody hell. Not seeing enough of Kiki. You're not going to see Kiki. You're not seeing him. Kyle, thank you for your generous super chat.
He had like a season-ending injury as well a few months back too, so you won't see him play even in Brazil for a while.
I think Alvarez should play a big role again. Alvarez,
he's playing the Olympics. You see that? So he's going to play Copa America and then play for Argentina in Paris.
Alvarez, you will not see till mid-August.
Yeah, maybe September.
You're not going to see Alvarez for the. He's going to have no part in any preseason. Thank you so much, though, Kyle. And he'll have no part in the Community Shield.
Well, the Olympics are on during the preseason anyway, so that's a definite no. And you can assume Argentina are going to go deep in that Olympics competition.
If Pep leaves, he'll have a way back in. And that's another thing. I mean, run it on. Do we give Pep what he wants this summer to convince him to stay?
Depends what he wants.
Well, I think you need to look at the kind of situation where if we give Pep what he wants, how long is he going to extend for? Do you know what I mean? Is it another season he's going to extend for? Because if he's going to extend for another season, is it really just worth it giving him what he wants? And the other player that we're forgetting, who had a fantastic season is Ortega. You know, for me, Ortega was one of the players of the season for City because he pulled out some amazing saves. He came on quite a few times when Ederson got injured. And we're going to have to make a decision on goalkeepers this summer because it's looking like we're going to lose at least one of them. So you're going to have to bring in another backup goalkeeper.
I think one of them goes.
Yeah, it's one of them goes, and then it's like you're going to have to bring another goalkeeper in, and then how much is that going to cost? Because I don't think you're going to get another Ortega fee.
Well, the last I heard was Ortega's contract has been on the table for 2 weeks. He's not signed. I always go down the right. This is just my rule of thumb. And I sit there and I think when a player's gone 2-3 weeks and that offer's there and you've not signed it, there's a reason you've not signed it. Because they've upped his wages, they've given him the release clause. What's stopping you signing it?
Yeah.
That tells me you're either looking at somewhere else or you're wanting something they've not offered you yet.
And honestly, I think if it comes down to it, we keep Ederson. Yeah, Ortega's been good this year, but Ortega started 12 league games for City. Ederson started 250, and Ederson's been, fantastic in most of those 250. So when it comes, and he's younger as well. So if it comes down to them, it's either or. Then, whilst I've been amazed at Ortega as a backup, I'd stick with Ederson.
Can I just say, Brady, if I've understood the comment wrong, let me know. It doesn't work like that. It's not working on a 2-week amortization. It goes on a year.
No, in the accounts, though, it will be in the actual P&L, in terms of the actual when the transaction takes place and things like that, it will do it. But and in terms of the release clause and in terms of, when you take the gain or the loss on the player, their asset value. So, but what I'm saying is that's an issue much more for Newcastle than it is for City.
Yeah. Well, that's What I'm
so
saying,
for City, it would be 2 weeks, but Newcastle, they make a profit of 70 million on him if he goes for 100 million. I think on his book value, that will hit. It's critical to them.
So yes, right on that. I mean, for start off, I know I don't run businesses, so I don't know why they do footballers in June to July. And I think this is how some clubs have been caught out in FFP. I think some paperwork can be a little bit, not dodgy, but you slide an 8 by 2 or 3 weeks to get it into next year's books. And I think that's where some teams have probably been caught out.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that's how Leeds United, don't think they're in major trouble, but I think that's how they've been a bit. They've tried sliding stuff, and Chelsea have done it, obviously, with Mason Mount.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to get rid of Conor Gallagher now.
Yeah.
Want Gallagher on before the 1st of July.
Yeah.
So say they get 60 million for Conor Gallagher. They can put that full 60 now onto their books.
Yeah.
If he goes on the 2nd of July, they can't.
It's all next season.
Next
It's the date is all about the selling club. The buying club, it's pretty irrelevant.
Why did he do it?
Selling club. Because you're selling an asset, and once the asset's gone, you've got the entire benefit of it. So if you sell 100 million player, when you sell them, you get the full 100 million. So you have to book it in that year. And if that goes back a day, all of that benefit comes in the next season. So it's almost irrelevant for the buying club, but it's absolutely massive for the selling club. And so Newcastle are doing it. Newcastle, obviously, if he has to go, they want all the money, going into the season, which to me seems, I guess FFP's 3 years as well. So, again, it probably matters much more in some end of Junes than others, because if your 3 years is in good shape, you probably want to bring it forward. If your 3 years is bad shape, you probably want to push it back. And then, I guess clubs could change what they want at the time. But obviously, I think the June 30th for Newcastle, is about, I guess it's about trying to force people's hands early and stop negotiation. And
Thank you. Can I just say, people ask me about Bruno. The only thing I got told on Bruno is just from a Newcastle person, Baz, who I speak to, I've been on his shows through Black and White Eyes. He's very reliable on Newcastle news. Very good. Now, it's a little bit different to what I've heard from the City end, but this is what I can tell you what Baz has told me, and I will read you the exact full thing. I don't mind. Where's it gone? Why has that disappeared? Where's it gone? Here it is. Got a bit of info regarding Bruno. Just been speaking to somebody. I know that it's no coincidence. Bruno has posted the video. His dad posting the club announcing not for sale unless clause is triggered. Basically, next week, the club strip, the brand new Newcastle kit, sponsors of Adidas, are coming out. And obviously, they want Bruno Guimaraes to be the forefront of that kit launch because he's their biggest name. He's the person they all want on the shirt. He's the number they all want. Massive sales, like us with Haaland, for example. Only Isaac and Gordon are close to Guimaraes' numbers shirt-wise. The club know if they sell Bruno name and number and he then leaves, they will be forced into a massive refund campaign. Bruno has informed them that he is staying because the club needed assurances on this a few weeks ago, and he's put in his opinion why he thinks Bruno is 100% staying. I got an update from the City side tonight that says, because I know all the Newcastle media do.
It was Rich all along.
That was more than a few grunts.
Yeah.
The info I got from the City end was.
Talk amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll all be getting seasick. Oh, for God's sake. Anything.
Right. The City end I got on Bruno was I got one lined message. Bruno wants. That's all I got. City I got told City are generally going to go in with their bid next week. It will be under the 100 million. They're looking at 85 to 90. The payment is not one payment in full. It's apparently what I got told and reportedly it's on 3 payments. The release clause. That's where we're at. I don't know anything else on it. That's just where we're at. Don't know.
Martin, do you know anything about, just going back to the goalkeeper situation? I heard City are looking at the keeper for Werner Bremer because he's got a release clause as well.
They're looking at a few. They're looking at the Costa at Porto.
Isn't there a Roma keeper they've been looking at for years? Is it Roma? Isn't there a Roma keeper?
Yes,
well, yeah.
Roma are desperate for him to stay, and he looks like he's going to sign a new contract. Edison, I think, will stay. If I was a betting man, and I'm not encouraging betting, it's just my opinion, I think Ortega will be the one that will leave. Chelsea have a major interest in Stefan Ortega. That is true.
Well, they're poaching some of our talent, so you can understand.
And all I'll say is that contract has been on the table for 2 weeks, not signed. There is something that is stopping Ortega signing at the moment.
Oh.
Well,
I can understand it, to be fair.
He'll be talking to anyone, and if he thinks he can be a starter for a decent Premier League or Bundesliga side, then honestly, in his shoes, why wouldn't you go? Because Pep, I think, has made clear that Edison is his number one, and unless Edison, we're going to get a mad offer, and Edison wants to go and earn $500,000 a week in Saudi,
No, the thing is coming about, just keep on saying.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
Edison, Edison likes to party, and he's very religious, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he necessarily wants to go to Saudi Arabia, but
he's only on $100,000 a week, And by the way, someone's going to come back to me and go, "What do you mean only?" I know $100,000's a lot of money. In comparison to Manchester City players, it's peanuts.
Yeah.
He should be on more than $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's no news on Kimmich. The buying situation is very weird because Alphonso Davies is out of contract next year or this year. Leroy Sané is out of contract 2025. Musiala's wanting to do a renegotiation, and so is Kimmich. I'm not sure Bayern have got the money to whack all four down on huge contracts.
I think apart from Kimmich, I think the rest of them are next year they run out.
Yeah, but would you allow Sané and that to walk out the door for free? I'm not sure.
Sané possibly, but I don't think they're allowing Musiala and Alfonso to go out the door.
Musiala's for 2026 with a kicky year. The thing with Musiala is, I got told he wants to be the face that runs the place. He wants to be the face of Bayern Munich, meaning biggest wage, main guy, face of it all. That's where you're at. But City are looking at Musiala for next summer. So again, KDB out, wages off, maybe a fee, not sure. Musiala, then you can free up the money. This is why I think we've got to be careful on the buy in. Because if we spend 200-300 million now, they're going to have to whack 200 million back, 300 million again next summer. So people are asking about the shirts refunds. Yes. So, for example, Erling Haaland says, I've got a release clause, I'm staying, a new shirt comes out, and 20,000 people go and get Erling Haaland number 9 on the back of their City shirts. And then a week later, Manchester City sell Erling Haaland. You would all chop up to the City store and go, excuse me, you sold me Erling Haaland shirt and then you sold him. Get a refund. And the club would have to do it. For example,
Newcastle have a massive psychological issue with that because they did it with Andy Cole. Andy Cole, they sold.
Yeah.
I remember the front page of the newspaper.
For him.
Some guy who 3 days earlier just had a life-size tattoo of Andy Cole's head on his thigh on the front page of, I think it was the Mirror or the Star or the Sun or something, because they based their whole summer on Andy Cole, and then they went and sold him to United.
That's right.
And that's still a massive issue at Newcastle. So if they did it again,
well, Bruno Guimaraes is also very. Listen, I'll put it this way: if City want Bruno, they'll move next week, very early next week.
Yeah.
I think if you're going 2 weeks down the line, I don't think anyone gets him. I think he stays at Newcastle. If we're still here in 2 weeks, I don't think he moves.
I'm not. Well, I also think we should be thinking about looking at. Sorry, Rich. I was just going to say. I think we need to be looking at, potentially looking at other players for cheaper, transfer fees, because we've done it so many times where we've brought in like 50 million for players, and then we've turned them into stars. We've kind of slightly gone away from that over the last couple of transfers, where we've spent huge amounts of money for top players, but I don't know. I mean, that's a question, but
you tell me
I think it can be done.
Guimaraes is quality. We're under 100.
I'm not saying I know who that player is. I'm just saying we can do it.
Like Rodrigo, 85 million, 90 million. Rodrigo,
he's not leaving. No, he's not leaving Real Madrid.
The news I got tonight was City are interested. Whether that doesn't mean they're signing him.
No, I'm sure they are interested. Who wouldn't be? It's like I'm sure they'd be interested in Vinicius Junior, but he's not leaving Real Madrid.
But that doesn't. I don't know that that's 100% Aussie, because quite clearly Real Madrid haven't signed Mbappe yet, haven't inked the contract, because financially it is an issue for them, and they are going to have to sell someone to give Mbappe what he wants. So I actually think that probably Real Madrid are going to have to sell someone. They've just lost Cruz, haven't they? He's retired, so they've got they've got a gap there.
Cruz is a huge wage bill. They've got huge number of wage bill.
They've got centre back issues in that they've had problems there. So I wouldn't be so certain that Real Madrid won't have to sell someone and cause a bit of surprise. And it's not going to be Vinicius, because he's their star. And look at Real Madrid. Who else have they really got, apart from if they sold Tchouaméni or someone like that? Who else have they got who they can get good money for, to actually be able to replace Mbappe, sign the centre-back, full-back that they want? Because if they sell a midfielder, they've got to go and replace that midfielder. So, and they've got a couple of young players coming through with, is it Endrick or whatever, who they've got amazing hopes for. So I actually think they might sell Rodrigo. Whether it's City are interested, I don't know. But I think that is a deal that might have to happen for them, and they might have no choice.
Well, Rodrigo doesn't want to leave. This is the polling guy remembers, because City won. Listen, I want a big guy of Aaron.
I can't see City signing. We don't. Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that somehow Real Madrid and Barcelona, I mean, look at the state of Barcelona. They still somehow get these signings, and they still don't sell really any players they don't really want to, Rich.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at
don't get signings. Barcelona get freebies the last 2 years. They're not.
I know they have, but what I'm saying is that I don't even know how they're paying the wages, Rich. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Barca, but Real Madrid are in an infinitely better financial shape than Barca. They're not. Real Madrid are not in Barca straits.
I know they're not. But what I'm saying is, compared to where they used to be, where they signed Galacticos, they're no longer doing that. But they still seem to be able to keep their players.
Guys, with Tony Cruz on the way out, I think Real Madrid are a sleeper on Bernardo.
Hang on, Ozzy just said they're not buying Galacticos, they're about to buy Mbappe.
Well,
I think they're a sleeper on Bernardo, guys. I really do.
He's a Galactico. Are you telling me Mbappe is a Galactico in your eyes, Oz?
What's he won apart from the French league?
World Cup.
World
Cup. The World Cup.
World Cup.
All right, World Cup, but that's
Mbappe is about to sign a deal that's worth more money than Messi signed in Europe. He's about to
I don't
do the
care,
biggest deal in European history.
What is
he
he?
signing on bonus meant to be 150 million?
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, he's signing a deal that makes Messi's deal with Paris look like chump change.
Listen, no, I agree.
He's a
I
Galactico.
don't think he's as good, Rich. But when it comes to a global sponsor guy and everything else, he is a Galactico. Footballing wise, probably agree with us there. But off the field, he's a Galactico. He is.
Footballing wise, he's still a player who, at 24 or whatever he is, has, he hasn't won a major league. He hasn't won the Champions League, but he scored nearly 250 goals or 300 goals by the age of 20. He's won a World Cup. He scored a hat trick in a World Cup final.
Come on, Rick.
Oh, cool! Here we go, Farmers League.
He scored a hat trick in a World Cup final. I mean, you can't. I'm not a massive fan of him, but you can't deny he's a bloody good footballer, and he
might be a good footballer.
Up there with he's probably the biggest. How can a hat trick in a World Cup final not be showing European football?
A one-off game, Rich, in the World Cup, fair enough. I will give him that.
You're just trolling now, Ozzy, and you know you are. So,
can I just respond to Kyle Smith? Sorry, Kyle, you were asking about membership. You don't have to, mate, but it's really appreciated. On the side down below, just click the $sign, and it will go on to you. Got a choice where you can become a member, mate. We appreciate all our members and your generosity. Thank you so much. If you can't afford it, do not worry. It's down as a support for your channel. But don't worry if you can. I'm not even opening this back over. I'm not doing it. I'm not freaking doing it. Anyway, no, I'm not doing it.
He's close.
Is there anything else? No. Eze and Elisa are also on the list. I knew about Eze, didn't know about Elisa. There's a number of clubs in for these players anyway. Listen, you're going to get 1,001 names at this point. Danny Olmo, that now seems to be going a bit away from City because, again, Bernardo at the moment ain't going nowhere.
Plus, he's injured.
It's just, I don't know. It's a real tricky time. See, Masumi say Elise is going to United. I don't know because United have changed everything now. We don't even know Ten Hag's staying at United fully yet.
Yeah.
He is.
What we're now seeing with United are going down.
I hope so.
Football's changing, and I want to do a show on this in a couple of weeks. Football's changing now where a Ferguson wouldn't work in this football anymore. Because now it's a director of football and directors are telling the manager what style of play they want and how to do it and who to sign. And Michael Edwards was doing it at Liverpool. And then he left, and Jurgen Klopp was then in charge of transfers, and it didn't work. Jurgen Klopp didn't want to work under Michael Edwards, so Edwards left. Edwards comes back, Klopp leaves. Look at Chelsea now. We're now in the stage where we're gambling. Maresca is going, is a very good coach. From Leicester to Chelsea is a massive jump. From the Championship to Chelsea, that is a huge jump.
And he's talking about playing inverted goalkeepers.
See what I mean? I just think football. I don't know. I'm not sure if owners and directors are trying to play a little bit of champ manager at the minute, and they're getting a bit giddy. I don't know. It's a weird one at the moment. Football is getting very, very weird. I don't know. Newcastle are interested in James Trafford. Manchester City have a 20% sell-on clause. We do have a buyback as well. I'm not sure what the buyback can be. I think he's got a 25 million pound release clause out with Burnley on relegation. So if Newcastle bought him, we'd get about 5 million of that. Or City could be real shit houses and buy James Trafford back and put him in the Bruno deal.
strange things have happened.
Not saying that will happen, just saying there are options out there. Douglas Luiz, again, was interested. 95 million. Tottenham are looking at him as well. I read somewhere Tottenham were in for a close deal, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's as close as people think it is.
What are you guys' thoughts on where James McAtee could end up?
I was going to say Leicester, but not anymore. Now Maresca's jumped.
Yeah.
He's kind of shot himself in the foot, hasn't he, by going back to Sheffield United last season.
No, but he's still one of their standout players. I mean, he's won their player of the season 2 years running. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was, but I don't think he's really got much of a future at City. So then is it another loan deal again, or is someone going to come and buy him? I think those are his two options, if I'm honest.
Because I mean, if we do sell him, I think he is worth at least 30 million. Because he would do a very good job.
I think you get 20 million.
No, you get 30 million in the Premier League. Anywhere else, it'd be sub 30.
Yeah.
It has gone very quiet, Dash. I agree with that. It's always the way. Remember, we did this last summer. I think
it's always quiet until the window. It's always quiet until the window opens.
I think with the PSR stuff, I think clubs are more cautious now.
You've got the Euros and the South American Cup as well, though. So I think that's going to be a lot of players probably are going to wait until after.
It's mad, though, isn't it? You've got Euros, Copa America, then the Olympics. Like, gee, how much football do you want in the summer? Can I have a summer off, please? Just have no football.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to get scuppered. Anthony's going to get injured, and Savier's going to get called up for Brazil or something, and then we're not even going to be able to look at him, and that's going to put the cat among the.
And then he won't come till September, and then
because there's things like that can still happen. Like I think Brazil's squads, I think they've named their squad, and he's not in it, but he'd been close because they like to try out a few young players, so. There's things like that can come and Chris Wood, bang on.
No, Caribbean racer, naughty boy.
Absolutely.
I've heard that Grealish and Alvarez are going to Forest in exchange for Chris Wood.
That's agent Chris Wood.
Yeah. Chris Wood. I hear that. I have heard that we've given one of our Premier League medals to Chris Wood.
I agree with you,
Andrew. Unhappy.
Shut up, this is not Chris Wood appreciation. Andrew, totally agree with you.
And that's where you're missing a trick.
Sense the face. Jesus. Right. I totally agree, Andrew. Yes, there is interest in Bernardo. It's who's willing to pay the 50.
Well, they're saying Vinny, but they could pay the 50. That's the sort of place where a deal could happen. Real Madrid or Bayern could pay it, and Paris. They're probably the only three clubs who are an option for Bernardo, because I don't think Barca are, unless something happens. Is Real, Bayern, or Paris?
What about Cancelo? What about Cancelo to buy him, man? What about Cancelo to buy him? Maybe Vinny could get a tune out of him.
But maybe Vinny thinks he's a twat.
Been to Bayern.
Yeah, it's either one or the other, I think.
Just been to Bayern. You want him to go back?
Well, it's a different manager, isn't it?
I think Chelsea could come in for him.
Tell you what, I'll stick 20 names in and out, and we'll pick one out and guess.
Yeah, whatever does it for you.
Yeah.
20.
Jesus. Right, so that's where we're at in thing. We will do transfer shows as we go through. I'm not just going to come on and throw rumour after rumour because that's pointless. Don't want to do that. What I would ask is, what would you give? We're going to end on this unless you've got anything you want to add. Ozzy, what would you give our season out of 10 then, overall?
I know some people were disappointed with the FA Cup and the Champions League exit, but the biggest thing for me this season is that we won the Premier League again, because it puts us down in the history books of, we've gone on, and for me, this club has gone on to win we've done the 100 points, we've done the treble, the treble, and the domestic treble. And yeah, it's all been brilliant, but it just feels that this is something that has put City into the real history books of how good this team, these players, this manager, and this club has done in the last decade. Do you know what I mean? It has just been an amazing achievement. So for me, I just feel that it's a 9 out of 10 for me, if I was to rate it. Because I just think as much as, you you were calling the treble and stuff like that again, and for me,
no, I didn't. I never. The T word never come out of my mouth.
Yeah, you writ it along your name a few times, but yeah, of course you didn't. But no, honestly, I do. I think for me, the biggest thing was to win that 4P, and I think Pat's right. I mean, I don't know if people saw it, but City did the whole Connect 4 thing, and at the bottom for the fifth one along was already the first chip. Do you know what I mean? And I just think, I think we could go on and do it again next season. So for me, 9 out of 10. Let's kickstart it and go again next season. For that 5.
I just love the idea of going for 5, breaking a record that's never been done, and then just doing one on top of that. That's sticking the knife in and twisting.
Yeah.
Yes,
can you imagine the meltdown there'll be?
Yeah. Let's go for 10.
You all want to win, mate. Is that what it is?
I'll go an 8 out of 10. The quads makes it the greatest team in English football history, but that the quad was done by 4 seasons, so it's ultimately it's not like this team this season won the quad. Players like Núñez won a title, but the teams over those 4 years have won the quad. So I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I think I've ducked 2 marks because we haven't played well against the big teams, generally compared to other seasons, and we haven't won ourselves a cup. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because I think the quad is truly historic.
We won 2 cups.
Well, yeah, but that you know me, man. I'm old-fashioned. I never paid attention to those cups that other clubs won. So
don't start doing that crap.
No. I never paid any attention to Liverpool saying we're world champions. So I'd be a hypocrite if suddenly I turned around and
badge on every shirt, Rich.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, for me, they're glorified friendlies. I'm just saying the league was
not the Community Shield.
That's a glorified friendly too.
Yes, I know it is.
We agree. But
not for me, Arsenal fans. They wanted to be called the English Super Cup.
Yeah.
For
me, unfortunately, the reality with the World Club Championship is that if you get there from Europe, you're 90% chance of winning it, and the triumph is the Champions League. It's not going and beating, a half-rate couple of teams from Australia and Japan. You're world champions because you win the Champions League, and that is where the peak of football is. So 8 out of 10. Great season. All that really mattered was the league. That was by far the most important, and we did it. But you can't have 10 out of 10 unless you win everything you play for. Otherwise, you have to have 11 out of 10, and then you're getting into spinal tap territory. And that's,
I'm not able to put a link in because I'm currently on StreamYard. If any mods can put a link in for membership, appreciate that. 8 win the FA Cup would have been a 9, the treble a 10. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10.
I'll go with both of you. I would have said 8.5 if we'd won the FA Cup, but we should be looking at the bench. The absolute minimum every season is going to try and win a league, and we did that. And that's basically your bread and butter. That's basically what's going to give you all your major marks and everything. Sprinkle in a little bit of the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, but again, they're just sort of add-ons from what was already a history-making season the previous season, right? Look, they're just something, and I think it's the first time we've won them both, so it's like, yep, that's one for the history books. If we never win it again, who cares?
It means nothing that much. We just have it posted all over the front of the stadium. You know what I mean? I don't know why we're bothering with it. Forget it. It's a Tin Pot trophy, Rich. Put it in the bin, mate. I'm
not the only one who feels like that. I'm just saying that's how I feel. It's because I never cared about it with any other club.
Rich, you didn't care about the League Two. You didn't care about the League One playoff trophy. 25 years ago, you jumped up and down like a big old.
No, that's where you're wrong. I watched the League One playoff final and cared deeply about it this season. So I think that's huge. That's about getting promotion. That's another league. And I've always rated the League Cup, the Carabao Cup.
I love the Carabao. I'd love to get the Carabao back.
There's 4 things that he play for. It's like next year's Club World Cup. I'll probably be a bit like.
So, David Mack's point, big changes for the Club World Cup is coming.
Well, we'll see. I feel a bit like a glorified pre-season US tour at the moment, but maybe it'll be different.
Kyle, there's a button that says join. Where it says join. If we don't get Bruno, who's next on the list? I have no idea. I know who's on the list. Roughly, I know what's on the list. I don't know who's next on the list. Joe Neves, Kimmich, they're all on the list. Doesn't mean I don't know who's next in line because it goes 1 to 5. I don't know.
Look, let's be honest. With company going in at Bayern, Kimmich is either going to be he's going to sit down with him in the next couple of days, and it's going to be I'm staying, I'm committing, or I want out, because company's going to want every one of his big players to sit down and kind of make them up. So there could be a couple leaving Bayern as there will be players coming in. And that could be an opportunity for us both ways.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, we'll end it there for the evening. We are 59 people away from 4,000. We're probably not going to hit by the end of May. Not to worry. We'll take it on into June, but we are so close to 4,000. We can taste it. So massive thank you to everyone. There's been over 400 people still currently watching, which is amazing. Thank you so much to as many people coming and watching it tonight. I have tried it out on Twitter for the first time. We have got 142 lovely thumbs up, couple of thumbs. We've had 3 dislikes. You know how it is. Haters are going to hate. But what we're going to do now, we are now going to do the members giveaway for the shirt. I'm just going to go into our members section. I need to get the list up. There are 254 of you, which is outstanding. And that's, I want to say a massive thank you to the likes of Mark Harris, Mark Fogg, Muddy Duck, other people. If I've missed you, I do apologise, but there's so many of you who have gifted memberships this season on the channel. It has been amazing.
Mark Fogg's been gifting them like Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah,
I got a membership. Yeah, membership. Unbelievable.
He has been amazing. Thank you, mate.
I need to change my background for this. And then these 3 are going to have a discussion with you because I've got to try and figure out 254 people and who's won. Random number. We're going to go from number 1 to 254. So you can see there.
We've just got a new. Someone's just membered for a month. So
Connor Rigby, thank you very much. He's already in it, but he's
member for 1 month. Yeah.
Thank you so much, mate. You are a legend. I forgot to give this. Massum, thank you for your £2, mate. So generous. Chris gave me a wood after the Forest game.
Rich?
Gave it to Pat as well.
Right, let's do it. good luck to everyone.
Can we join on behalf of Chris Wood and send him the shirt? I'm gonna let's Pat. We've got to try and get Chris Wood to come on the show.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
He's a cult hero.
Yeah.
94. 94. So the winner.
1894.
I don't have to count that much now. Jesus. Right. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Is this like Martin trying to get on the 1894 group and he's just subliminally getting himself 94?
Yeah, been on the BBC
Hints,
Manchester tonight.
Dropping hints, yeah.
Yeah, he's so dropping hints.
Right, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, we're starting on one. Blimey, we're going to be here for a while.
13.
Jesus. Does your computer screen come in Braille?
Carry the one.
The only thing would make, if he had a chain to connect the ends of his glasses, that would look even more.
Yeah, he would.
Can I have a pee, please, Bob?
Right, there's 50.
This is like candidate. I'm just waiting for Carol Vorderman to say something.
6 there.
Blimey, 60.
7 there.
I'll have 4 from the top and 3 from everywhere else, please.
8
70 times 2 plus 13 times 42 minus 86.
Right, I've got it.
Drum roll, please.
Here we go.
There's going to be a lawsuit, isn't there?
The winner of the shirt
Bloody hell, mine.
Oh,
to be delivered
You're
personally
gonna
by
drag
Pat.
this out.
I reckon it's going to be DC, and you're going to have to deliver it personally, Pat, in a penny.
Charlie, congratulations,
Charlie.
You have won the brand new Manchester City shirt. What I need you to do, Charlie, email us at mancunianway894@gmail.com and let me know if you want the home shirt or you want to wait for the new away one or the third kit, the maroon one. Whichever one you want, you let me know the sizes. I will go and buy it and we will post it straight to your house. Rigged? There's 254 bloody people. How have bloody rigged 254 people?
To be fair, Charlie Kaluka is one of the few people who watches as he used to play for City. So,
You get why we custom
Not
printing.
Edwin Charluka, you tit.
yeah, yes, it is. Come on, because it's Charlie. It's obviously Vedran Kaluka.
Oh, this could go horribly wrong, Pat, if you do this wrong.
I don't know if you see about my custom printing.
You need to lean back a bit more.
Is that good?
A little bit more.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Am I all right?
A little bit more.
Fuck. Oh, God.
Champions
There you
again.
go.
Ole, ole. So there you go. Congrats.
Right.
Chelsea should buy Victor.
I have to go.
Ugh.
I have to go.
Yeah. Rich, before you go, hate doing this on it, but can you respond to the WhatsApp chat?
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
And I'm not going
I have to do it because I was going to speak to
WhatsApp chat was. But the
Thank
answer
you,
is
Rich.
yes.
Thank you.
So,
What
yeah,
I will say is we are going to do the subscriber or the fan phone in. We're going to do that next week. Next week, between Monday and Wednesday, I'm not sure what day, there will be the monthly fan calling show with me. And we'll see if any of these other gentlemen want to come and join. We'll be back next Thursday with Thursday Night Chat. That's not going away. We are continuing for the next few weeks. We will have our break in July. No. I will have the break. If Ozzy, Pat, and Rich will have their break, they can have as long as they want. I'm going to push. I will continue doing videos. until the middle of July. So I go away.
Kind of him.
Yep. And then we'll fire it up again for Orlando.
The podcast is going to start. We're going to have a meeting about that next week with the virtually chosen the name, and then we'll get it all set up, get some logos done. The channel will change again from the new season. You'll get new layouts, new intros, the lot. Obviously, we need to put the 4P on there. Of course we do.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Tomorrow, I will be on LB's channel at 12 p.m. Then at 5 p.m., I'm on the Football 12-Man podcast with Dan Potts. Dan Potts is going to start coming on the channel in the next week or two. I've made contact with Saeed TV. Going to get him on. Loads of things planned. Got a tone. Me and Tone are going to do every 2-week show. Different panels, all sorts coming up. Loads of things on the Mancunian way. Ozzy, Pat, and Rich will do their podcast. But don't worry, you're still going to see them all the time on YouTube. Yep. They're not leaving here.
Yeah, but look forward to the first episode of Martin's sweet 115 size foot, whatever it's going to be called.
I will be on. I'm not sure yet, Pardo, because Andy's dealing with some other stuff at the moment. As quite rightly, as Andy said, should not have to deal with. What Andy's had to deal with is disgusting and should not happen. I agree. Kyle, I can't put the membership link up, mate. I need a moderator to do it. Because I'm on StreamYard, it won't let me put it on, but I will put it in the comments after the video's ended, I promise you. Mark Harris, dirty dog. You go and enjoy yourself. I will get the link in though afterwards. Big up to Martin Ozzy and Pay.
I wouldn't mind some.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. These cups should be appreciated. City won 3 trophies this year.
Fact.
I was going to say, Ozzy said that, Rose. It was Rich who said the friendlies. Or was it? Or did you? I don't know.
No, it was Rich.
Yeah, it was Rich who said they were friendlies.
Yeah.
Ozzy agrees with me. Me and Ozzy said that we've won 3 trophies.
I said before, I said, I'm glad we won that UEFA Super Cup, but because from an aesthetic standpoint, I think it's the best looking trophy.
Congrats,
out of all of them, it's the one that I like the most, just to look at.
So, Charlie, either come on to me on Twitter or over on the email, and I'll sort you out the. We're going to get bigger and better. And by the way, what has happened to Andy is disgusting. Should not happen. Anybody who's doing that, you need to go and get your head sorted out. Because football shouldn't get personal where people are getting their businesses and all things. It's disgusting. And you need to sort it out. We're all City fans. We all love City. We all get emotional. But let's keep it to where we don't go stupid, please. Martin, if City didn't win those 2 cups, you would hear negativity from fans like Rich. Spot on. Big up the panel today. No, big up yourselves, Danny. And I'll speak to you over on Tom's channel, no doubt. Agreed. I hope Andy's all right. Internet trolls are embarrassing, very embarrassing, disgusting. Ortega playing in Conference League. If he signs for Chelsea, he may sign on at City. Will we win the Champions League next season? Hope so. We'll see.
I just hope we make it to Munich, because that's going to be a hell of a way day.
Yes, he got very hateful messages, and I hope he's okay. Thanks for the great stream. Anytime. If you can, smash those likes on the way out. If you are new, consider helping your channel get to 4K. We have 50 odd away. Not many at all. But these 2 will see you at some point. I'll see you tomorrow on LB's. And I'm on Footy Judgment at 11 p.m. I'm on Dan Potts' channel at 4 p.m. 5 p.m. So, yeah. So there you go. Anything you boys want to add before you shoot?
Ozzy, I guess we just better do our end of season sort of, State of the Union dress, basically, if you want to call it that. Look, on behalf of everybody out there, because, you know, I think anything that we do now is basically looking towards next season. So, you know, it's hard to believe that, you know, we're still less than 12 months away from, you know, my first sign out for the end of a season. And, you know, you look back on it and you think we couldn't have done much better than winning a treble. Well, you know, we're here signing off on English football history that is now blue, whichever way you look at it. First team ever to make a four-peat. And, you know, to be over here again, to be able to witness it, it's just, you know, it's beyond my wildest imagination. And, you know, to share it with Martin and Ozzy and Rich and Alan to a certain extent, and everybody else out there in the chat. Of course, you know, we're a wonderful little family here. Everybody gets along. You know, this channel truly has got a soul. It's not worried about the numbers. It's worried about good conversation, fun debates, and making great out of good situations and making light of bad situations. And you know, that's one thing. It's about being a blue, is you take the rough with the smooth. And you know, I said onwards and upwards for next season, you know, 12 months ago, and I'm going to say the exact same thing now. I'm excited to see what's going to go forward with the channel and see what goes forward with Manchester City. And yeah, of course, I know a lot of our fan base are from the United States. I do hope to see some of you, you know, put a face to the lovely comments that everybody does week in, week out. And Martin and I certainly hoping to see some of you in Orlando. I'll hope to see some of you, if not in New York or in Columbus as well. But yeah, sure. You know, as you guys know, I'm around. Anybody ever needs to talk about anything, anybody needs, you know, some information, or, you know, just kind words or something, you know, you can always find me around. And yeah, look, I look forward to working with all you guys. I'm excited about the prospect of this podcast as well, getting back behind the mic, just like the old early birthdays. And yeah, look, guys, everything is just nothing but positivity and just looking upwards towards season 2024 and 2025. So yeah, look, let's just bring it on and let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, it's hard for me to top what Pat has just said, really. I mean, yeah,
Good
I
night,
totally
everyone.
agree. Yeah, no, it is. It's been a great journey for this channel. You know, as Pat said, you know, we're not here for the numbers. We're here just to do what we really love doing. You know, talking about City, and you know, Martin has done an amazing job. You know, he takes a lot of time out from his personal life, and he's got a really hard personal life, with everything going on with his dad and other family issues. So, you know, I always have such respect for Martin, because he's done so well and brilliantly for this channel. And Pat coming on board has just made this channel even better. I think having Pat come on has been one of the best things that's happened to this channel. So I'm so grateful for Pat agreeing and being part of this family, because it's a great family we've got. Yeah, we've got the nutty Uncle Alan, you know, but somehow he makes the channel just that little bit extra special, I suppose. But yeah, thank you to everyone watching. We appreciate you getting us to nearly 4K and putting those likes and watching us and talking about utter rubbish sometimes. But it's a right laugh, and we love it. And yeah, I'm actually going to be in the States myself for the season, beginning of the season. I'm in Vegas, so if anyone in Vegas is around, say hi. It'd be great to see people. But yeah, really looking forward to next season. Really looking forward to what's going to happen with this channel going forward. So yeah, that's me done.
Viva Oz Vegas. Bloody hell.
Yeah. So
what I don't know yet is Ozzy and Pat are sacked for next season. No, I'm joking. Apparently,
what do you think, mate? I'm going to meet up with Ozzy in Las Vegas, and we're going to get our winnings back that we should have got from you.
Yeah, that's right.
No, listen, I want to echo everything he said. I want to thank Rich as well. Rich is part owner of this channel as well. So it's without these three, yes, I am generally seen as the face, the host, but I can't do it on my own. There are streams to do it on my own, of course, but without Ozzy, people don't realise Ozzy has a very, very important job. Rich has a very, very important job. He just travels around the bloody world. That's all I ever see him do.
Yeah, but at least it's important. At least it's important.
Yeah, it's important to get your travel miles in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get them there miles in, mate.
No,
but honestly, Pat has been a breath of fresh air added to this channel. Ozzy and Rich have stood by me through some very difficult times of the opening of the channel, and we finding our feet. We didn't know where to go. And the one thing that everyone all agreed was they wanted fun. And yes, we've had our ups and downs. I think people are starting to have some fun now. Yeah, we might not all agree. We all have different journeys at Manchester City Football Club through the good and the bad times. But what it's about is not even about any of us. It's about you guys. You lovely men, women, people who stood by and stay up till stupid o'clock in the morning around the world to listen to 4 or 5 grumpy old gits talking about Manchester City, and you don't always agree, and that's great, and that's what this is about.
Excuse me, I object to the old.
Yeah,
I object to the old.
No, but that was my whole point the other day. When we are not doing what you represent, then we give this up. Or I give it up because I want to represent the face of the channel in the correct way. Ozzy does, Pat does, Rich does. You know, it's always your channel. And you're spot on, Danny, from Alan to Beta to Andy to Carl to Pat to Sivan. And, you know, all come on this channel and represented amazing, amazing people. 9320 Pubcast to everyone who's been on. I cannot thank you enough for a fantastic season. And then there's other people, MCFR TV, there's MCFC Connect, there's City Loop TV now, there's Not in My Lifetime podcast, there's LB, there's Big Steve, there is so many, there's HMTV, Hugh Murray and the gang, and Joe, top people. I cannot thank everyone enough. We are one big family here at Manchester City in the community, more than a lot of other channels, club channels, and that's what we love. Is that we all interact, and you've got Tone now going on other shows. You've got so many people interacting with each other. It's amazing. You've got Harry Bigsby, who's been in the channel, who goes on channels now. The people have been in the spaces at 3 and 4 in the morning, by the way. Thank you. JSGC, Jay, who I want to speak to more, but I know he's so busy. Jay's a top lad. Jay's one who supported me from Man City Van TV. I would love to get Jay on, but I know he's very busy, sub 2, very, very busy. So, typical City to everyone who's involved. We're a family. And that's what it's about. It doesn't matter whether you're a big channel or a little channel or whatever. It's about enjoying ourselves, loving it, and having a great time. I want to thank the moderators as well. They know who they are for a fantastic season. Caribbean and Muddy Duck and Super City and everyone else, you know, who are moderators. You are superstars, and then there's everything else. You're all amazing. And we truly mean it. You are the legends of the Mancunian way. And yes, it is the only way we know. But the main thing is the way you know. And when we stop doing it the way you know, let us know. That's because it's your channel. But anyway, enough of the emotional supper shit. We'll be back next week with a fan phone in. I promise you. Keep details on Horses at Horses Save the details. Also, BBC Radio Manchester. Go and listen to me, Emily, Gaz, and Sir Joe Royal. To the fat and, you know, Mr. Gatecrasher down here.
It's no less than you deserve.
On 30th of May 1999, where this journey, I've always said it, that was day one of this journey. 25 years later, we've seen some shit. And it's been good shit. That's the main thing. Anyway, take care all, you legends. Big up, by the way. Keep that girl, Emily. Thank you so much. I want to try and get her on here one day. I know we're late, and we might even do an early one. I'm desperate to get Emily onto the show because she's a legend. Anyway, take care all, and we'll see you all next week. Well, hopefully I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Bye.